Hello to one, to all. It is AJ the One here. How are you all doing? I'm doing fine. Today I'll be doing part 3 of What If Izuku was a Belmont. So, to start off this What If immediately, where we started off was Izuku getting absolutely destroyed by Todoroki. Or, not even destroyed because I didn't describe it. But Izuku would get absolutely dominated by Todoroki. So because of this, his internship would consist of a larger group even than Todoroki's. Because the picture said that Todoroki got the largest amount. He would get one larger than Todoroki's. Not because of the fact that Todoroki's quirk is really good. So for what he did in the for what he did for the sports festival, he did really good in the people's eyes. That's A. B. He's a fucking Belmont. Everybody in the world knows what a Belmont is. He's gonna get a plethora of internships. But Inko would end up telling Izuku to take Midnight's internship, so that's the one that he'll be taking. He would end up going to where Midnight's internship was, as it would be. I don't even know what Midnight's internship would even look like. Hold on, I'm about to search this up. Midnight internship. Let me see this, because I don't know what this looked like. Oh wow, so it really is just, search it up, it's not a lie, it's just a fucking building. It looked like a basic ass apartment, I guess. Okay, yeah, well, it's not really an apartment, it's more just like a really tall building. Whatever, it's not really to be shocked at. So basically Izuku would sort of pull up to this building, which would have, it actually kind of looks like a fucking school, but he would end up pulling to this building that would look sort of like a school, but it would be in very good shape. So because of this, Izuku would end up walking inside of the building and would end up being greeted by Midnight. As Midnight would end up expecting Izuku, because Enko called her a little while ago. Well, also to put Izuku in Midnight's relationship, she's sort of like an aunt figure to him, basically replacing Mitsuki in the original canon. So basically, as soon as Izuku would walk in, Midnight would immediately start training him on how to use a whip, on how to get more physically active, and also how to just throw shit better, honestly. But the main focus, whip. So, and also Izuku would bring his chain whip on this internship, but he wouldn't be using it against All Might. They would be using training whips, which I don't know what the fuck those look like either. But I'm assuming they don't hurt. But for the full entire duration of the time, Izuku would truly just be working on his whip skills and his acrobatics. As that's honestly about it that Izuku would really ever train with. So we would get to the day on where whatchamacallit. Damn, why am I fucking up? We would end up getting to the day where Ida would basically get attacked by a stain. As during this time, Izuku would end up being I'm pretty sure Midnight was somewhere near Hosu. And also Izuku and Ida would still have the little same conversation that they did in canon. So Izuku and Ida, or not Izuku and Ida, Izuku would end up telling that Ida was gonna do something stupid, as he would end up asking Midnight if he could quickly go to Hosu to try and help out there. Midnight thinking that it would be a really good experience, and she would say yes. As soon as they would get at least close to Hosu, she would end up realizing that Izuku is gone. I'm pretty sure they would take something something like a train, or train. They would end up taking a train, but it would end up getting opened up by a Nomu. Izuku and Midnight will both pull out their whips, and Izuku will pull out his chain whip, and as they will both end up whipping the Nomu. Izuku will end up whipping it in the eye, Midnight will end up whipping it in the head, as they will end up falling out of the train. Midnight will basically tell Izuku to stay here, as she will end up using her whip to sort of jump out of the train. Izuku realizing that this is his chance, as he would pull out his phone to find Ida, and then of course whip out and then shoot out his whip to find Ida. After a little while, Ida would be about to get stabbed by the hero killer Stain, but Izuku will end up knocking the sword out of the hero killer's hand. As Izuku will end up walking in front of the hero killer, with one hand behind his back, typing, or basically sending Todoroki or texting Todoroki his location. So because his location, Izuku will quickly put his phone in his pocket, as Stain will go on an entire rant on how heroes are fake. Izuku really not listening will quickly just launch his whip at Stain, as Stain would quickly dodge. Stain would quickly dodge as they would begin a scuffle amongst themselves. As the scuffle would basically consist of Izuku just throwing out whip attacks, while Stain either deflects or dodges them, slowly getting closer. Stain would also end up throwing out a pair of knives, which Izuku would retaliate by quickly taking out his sword and deflecting all of them, except for one which would stab into his leg. Izuku would wince in pain and fall to one knee as he would grab the knife and take it out of his leg and throw it off to the side. He would slowly get back up, but mostly using one leg as Stain would be right in his face. Izuku being shocked that Stain got over so fast, as Stain would slice downward at Izuku, and Izuku would retaliate would deflect the attack with his sword. Izuku would put his whip away, and as Izuku would put his whip away and swap it, and would put his whip back on his side and begin fighting Stain with their swords. During this excursion I think it is, with swords, Stain would definitely be outmatching Izuku, as Izuku would get constant cuts and scratches across his body. But every time Stain would try to go over to lick his blade, Izuku would quickly thrust his sword forward, which Stain wouldn't be able to realize. Which Stain wouldn't be able to react to, as Stain would end up cutting his own tongue. Stain leaning back in pain, as Izuku would sort of look at him and smile smugly. As he would say, if he would have licked his Izuku would say, I'm curious, what would happen if you were to lick your own blood, as Stain's and Izuku's blood has sort of mixed together. And from what Stain can tell, I don't think Stain is the brightest brightest bulb in the bunch, but I'm pretty sure he would think something like Izuku's blood is mostly on my blades. That means if I look at a certain part of it, I wonder if I'll get his or mine. So he would just simply say, fuck it. Fuck it. As he would quickly just try to launch the blood off his sword, which he would get some, but he wouldn't realize that now he doesn't know which one is Izuku's or his own. As while sitting, actually no, not while sitting, while fighting constantly with their swords, Stain would quick as Izuku would just be sort of not playing defensively, but playing to sort of draw out time. Or not playing, or fighting to draw out time. And after a little while, Todoroki would also end up getting up there as well. Also, Ida would also be free, but he would also be helping out Native to try and get out of there. And during the fight, it would mostly go the same. When Todoroki ended up getting his face cut by Stain wouldn't try to lick the blood right off of Todoroki's face. He would just try to draw enough blood to put it on his knife, and after that he would end up licking his knife. As soon as this happened, Izuku would try to rush over at Stain to try and stop him from licking, but Izuku would be too late, as Stain would end up deflecting his sword with his knife and then lick his sword. Izuku would end up being paralyzed, as he would be like, wait, why did he lick it knowing that he could have stunned himself? As Stain would sort of look at Izuku like, come on now, I'm literally bleeding in my mouth. I would have paralyzed myself a long time ago. As this is where it ends. As he would end up lifting up his sword, but Ida would end up kicking Stain. But Ida would end up kicking Stain back. As Izuku would still have the same blood type, as it will only be a quick excursion for about only 30 seconds, as Izuku will quickly get unfrozen and rush at Stain as well. Todoroki would simply just come up with a plan to launch fire at Stain, make him jump at a certain direction. Izuku hit him with holy water, and after that they all end up launching their own attacks at him. This plan would play out flawlessly. While Todoroki is sort of using his ice to push him back into a corner, he went up jumping over his ice to shoot a fire shot at Stain. Stain went up dodging into one direction, but there's like sort of an opening within the ice which Izuku got into and put out one of his holy water bottles and threw it at Stain's back. This would end up burning Stain to not to a crisp, but it would feel like it. As Stain would end up sort of like curl up his back sort of and stumble forward. Ida would end up kicking him, smashing his face into the wall. Stain would try to fight through the pain to grab a sword, but Izuku would end up pulling out a whip and not holding back at all. Would end up throwing out like quick succession whip strikes into Stain's arm, legs, and also on the back of his head. Stain would end up falling over to one knee as Izuku would end up sort of like reeling back his whip as he would also grab the whip itself with its other hand and sort of draw it back as well to sort of get like a charged up, basically Richard's F smash in Smash Bros Ultimate. That's basically what Izuku was doing. Ida would basically be charging up a reciprocal burst, and Todoroki would sort of be charging up like an ice attack, as ice would be slowly forming around his feet. As Todoroki would shoot off sort of like an ice pillar at Stain, Izuku would launch out his whip, smacking the dog shit out of Stain in his back, and also Ida would hit him with a reciprocal burst kick to the face. As all of this wound up sending Stain through the wall, which he was cornered by, launching him into like a warehouse. They would all walk in there as Izuku would end up pulling out his as Izuku would end up pulling out one of Midnight's spare whips. You know, like not a training whip, more like a whip that Midnight uses, but like a spare one that she would have. Actually, no. I believe that Midnight would carry 2 whips on person, so he would end up taking hers when she jumped out of the train. He would end up wrapping Stain up in Midnight's whip as they would sit there and wait for the heroes. Midnight, Endeavor, and who else was there? Right, whoever's Ida internship guy was, I forgot what it's called. Whoever they were also end up showing up. I think it was the guy with the fish head, not an actual fish head, but like he has some form of a fucking water quirk. But anyway, Stain would, which as Izuku would still end up getting grabbed up by the Nomu, but Stain, and I think Stain would still launch out of the wrapping to rush forward. Also, the reason I didn't say anything between them, like on what Izuku would say, because Izuku wouldn't care enough to reply at all to Stain. Damn it, I'm doing it again. Stain went up launching up to the Nomu, landing on top of it, stabbing it in the head. He would do the same thing as before. He would collapse. Endeavor and everybody else would end up taking him away. Izuku, Ida, and Todoroki would still get lectured by Doghound, I think his name was, about fighting Stain as they would say that Endeavor should take the credit. Izuku would be Izuku would sort of be reluctant to this, like, so you're telling me we all almost died as we all just simply did it to save Ida. But like, you're just gonna let us almost die for basically no, like, Ida saved, yeah, but you know, glory's a good thing that comes with being a hero. As Doghound would simply say that they can't do that. Fine, whatever. Do whatever you want. What happened after the internship? Let's see. Damn, I forgot the whole damn story. Hold on a second. Right. I'm pretty sure it would end up going to... Alright, yeah, I'm starting to remember shit. Okay. Is this a good place to end it off? Yeah, it is. Okay. Good enough. Alright, so that will be all for today. I know, not really a long at all fucking what if. It just basically explained the Stain fight. But, like I said, I need to, not catch up. I also need to remember some shit about, My Hero. And also, you know, I'm going to do more what ifs. So, I'll be doing that a little bit later today. Have a nice day.